So, what would you say like are the top 3 goals just in terms of your career?
I've never broken it down like that. I always hear people ask like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I guess all the goals will be connected because, I mean, no goal can really stand on its own in business. It all has to be for, like, the main purpose. Mm-hmm. And there's a thing called a silo effect where you have multiple things going on and there's multiple people in charge of each, department, but they want to do things the way that they want it to be done. And then those other teams end up not communicating the message, and then at the end of the day, there's 3 different goals and there's 3 different perspectives because no one communicated. So what I'm really, I think my biggest 3 goals is to, number 1, own the property that the studio is in. Wherever that's going to be, I want to own that building because I think that just owning the property itself, I can do so much more with it, and on a commercial level. And I think everything falls under that, really. It's just advancement and ownership. And anyone that knows me knows that, like, a lot of my motto came from what Nipsey Hussle was doing, which was completely about owning everything, like, just being in control. And that's the reason why I decided to open up the studio and brand myself instead of branding a label or, because I feel like that control might mean more to this person than $1 million deal. Because that creative control, so to speak. Because it's like I could get, my message across to 10,000 people as opposed to 10 million, but at least my message is still my message, Yeah. Because a lot of times you try to say something and convey it a certain way, and then the person that's really in control is like, yeah, that's nice and all, but let's do it this way. And you're like, oh, my voice got lost somewhere in the mix. So that's what my biggest thing is, never losing my voice, never losing that creative control. And that's going to, it's going to come with that hard work. Like, I've had conversations, been on phone calls with people, what I'm saying? There's really no need to bring up names, but I've had these calls with people that are like, hey, listen, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So it's like, where do I slide to California? Move to, and I'm like, I own this business. I would, but I got to run this business. And it's like, that to me is like, it's important to me, and I know I've burnt bridges with people because of that, and I wouldn't necessarily say burnt bridges, but I've made it clear, what I'm trying to
set
do.
Boundaries.
Exactly.
Set boundaries. So what advice do you have to like other artists trying to get into the game, or creators, or anybody who's interested in pursuing at all what you're pursuing?
If you don't invest in yourself, no one else is going to invest in you. That's like the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest thing I see people run into on a daily basis. It's not to say if you don't have the funds to pursue the career, stop making music. It's not to say that. But what you have to understand is that, this job, this doing music is like, once you decide that you're going to become an artist, you're deciding that you're going to become your own business. You're going to become your own brand. And no brand succeeds without money. So, like, you have to understand the dedication and the commitment it's going to take to get to where you want to be. It's not just going to the studio and recording a song and boom, I just invested in myself. No, like, there's more to it than that. Like, getting it in front of the people that count, that can help you change your life off it, is going to cost you money, And also just the image, doing visuals, the masters, making it sound professional, the quality. All these things are, you have to have a budget. And it's like, you don't have to have the biggest bag in the world. You can delegate a certain amount of money weekly to what you're trying to do, but make sure that you're committed. Because there's a lot of people I work with for a couple months, and then they disappear. And I'm like, what's good? When is this song dropping? Oh, I'm done with music. And then they'll come back a couple months later, do a couple more songs, and then disappear again. And it's like, I don't really care about getting $60 an hour. Like, I want to see this through. I want to be able to look one day and be like, yo, bro used to record with me, or I still engineer bro's music, or whatever the case is. Like, that's what's important, is like seeing it's like you're starting a task that you want to complete. And what is the completion for you? I think that's the big question, is at what point do you say this task is completed?
So a lot of artists, I guess you'd say, fall short of like once they record a song, it's like they don't really know what to do after that. So what are those steps that would be considered like fully thinking out, like how am I gonna distribute this music?
Oh man, I'm about to give away the sauce right now. You might have to label this podcast Stizzy Raxx gives away the keys on how to what next after you record. Nah. Honestly, there's a couple of steps. I mean, my fault, bro. The first part is obviously the recording part, mastering the song and not doing it in an hour and saying it's done. Like actually taking the time. Like I see people do one takes and then certain words will get cut short so that they can catch breath to get to the next bar. It's like nah, cut that out. Do a punch and retake it. Don't this is your song. There's no reason to rush it. Once the master is done, then you got to decide like, are you gonna do visuals for this song? Is this gonna be one of your highlighted records for this album? Are you gonna drop an album or is it gonna be a single? Because remember, when you drop an album, you got to promote all the songs on the album or something's gonna get overlooked. And I'm pretty sure no one's dropping albums like this song not gonna get played. So you're gonna have to put that money in, which brings me to the point of maybe dropping as a single for someone that doesn't have an unlimited bag. Be the smartest thing because you focus on this one song. You can do visuals for this and push that song until it get to that completion goal, that completion rate, and then you move on to the next project. But after you do visuals, obviously comes a promotion. You have to spend money. There's a phrase that I heard a long time ago in the industry. It goes, your favorite song isn't made, it's marketed. So that's going to be your next step directly after getting the masters done and the quality finished. You don't even have to do visuals to start the marketing process. You get the marketing running, and then from there you do your visuals, what have you, and then you on to the next project. Like the main thing is pushing the song. Marketing, that's just a broad word that falls under, like a lot of things fall under that umbrella. Like I mean, that could be photo shoots. That could be, submitting your song for playlist placement. That could be paying local blog spots to feature your song or your music. YouTubers that have millions of followers and they're playing games and got your song running in the back. All this stuff costs money. Like having a challenge come out on TikTok with your song in the background. These things blow people up. But again, you have to have a budget. And I mean, if you don't have a budget, you really ain't got no business doing music because, again, unless you're doing it for fun. And if you're doing it because you love to and enjoy it, then don't let anyone take that from you. If you're trying to do it as a career, make sure you got you got a bag. You have to have prior bag. That's like me trying to open a studio with no money. Got to pay rent, got to pay for security, electric bill, all my equipment. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that breaks, got to replace it. You got to have money in this game. Like that's just the way it is.
They won't let you just keep it if you say I'm just doing this for fun.
Tell that to Visa or MasterCard. It's like I'd like to pay my last credit card statement with love, but I called the boys and they said they weren't currently accepting that as a payment method. So you got to have this budget.